is Becky. I am back with another process video. Today I'm using L Studio papers and I am doing freeze frames of them so you can see what they are and I don't have to say it and remember. So the pictures I'm going to scrapbook are pictures of food. When we had went to Cancun, the resort we went to, they had like 10 different restaurants in it. I'm going to probably do 2 pages of talking about the restaurants, and then I will probably do pocket pages. We were only there for a few days, so we didn't get to try all the restaurants, but that's okay. Here I'm doing what I really love, the diagonal back or the diagonal border around the page. That's my favorite thing to do. So, I'm sitting here looking at this layout and I see at the bottom I had stamped the date and I stamped the wrong month. So I'm going to have to fix that. That's nice. I'm cutting these papers into squares. I'm putting the one in the top right and one in the bottom left. And on this one, this is going to be a strip horizontally toward the center, and those thin blue ones are going to border them on either side. I am going to pull out my sewing machine and stitch on this layout. Right now I am writing the correct date over it, hoping it comes out okay. If not, I'll have to put another label over it. So here I am. I'm going to go ahead and stick that down and stick down. I'm trying to use a T-square ruler because, as you well know, I put things down crooked. So I'm using that aqua glue, the Tombow aqua glue, to put down the strips. I have mentioned before I like that because you can move it around a little bit. It doesn't dry instantly. So if it's crooked, you can shift it. And I just cut off the ends because I didn't want that horizontal stripe or those borders to go all the way to the edge of the papers. I wanted them to stop at the papers that I have in the center. I'm going to back my photos on this diagonal stripe paper. If you saw at the beginning when I had used that diagonal border, I had cut out the middle of it. I do not like to waste. I have a ton of paper, so I don't know why I bother doing that, but I do, and especially if it's a diagonal stripe, I just love those. I can't waste those. So there, did you see I was trying to turn up the edge of that bottom paper, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to stitch. And I did stitch. I stitched around that top right square, that bottom left square, and on both of those blue strips. But where I was trying to turn the paper up previously, I did not stitch there. I don't know why I didn't. That was kind of weird. So I'm using this tool from the Silhouette machine to kind of pry the edges of this paper up, because when I used that aqua glue, I used a bit more than I maybe should have. So it's stuck pretty good. So I'm using this tool to pull up the edges. I wanted to rough them up a little bit. I didn't want them to look quite as clean as they did. Right there is a Tim Holtz distress tool, but where the paper folded up in some spots it wasn't quite long enough, so I used my scissors instead. And that's a good alternative. If you do not have a distress tool, don't go buy one. The scissors work just as good for most people. For me, I'm kind of clumsy, so I did like the paper that's underneath it, I did scratch it up a little bit, but you can't really tell. I'm clumsy. That is right about where my picture is going to land. This bowl of embellishments, I had cut all those out for a previous layout. I believe it was a couple videos back. Right there you saw I had that T-square ruler out. I was measuring a spot for my journaling. I went ahead and printed it out just in case I had more to say than I had room. I went ahead and typed it out, and apparently I didn't have that much to say. I was just talking about food. My husband always says we are eaters, and he is right. Neither one of us are little, and we will never be accused of being anorexic. That is for sure. So there are two little tags. I'm going to glue those two little tags together. There's the yellow one sitting on top of this aqua teal colored one. I like it when you can layer the tags. I'm going to go ahead and right here I'm going through these pieces that I had cut out to see if there's anything I might want to add. I picked out this ampersand and I'm going to fussy cut it. I do leave those blue dots in the center. If you want to do something like this, you can cut those out with an X-Acto knife. You can probably even cut them out with some small scissors for fussy cutting if you are talented like that. I'm not. So this scrap of this paper, I'm going to go ahead and put that behind the picture. It does stay behind the picture, but not like that. I do end up using a couple of those pieces that I had previously cut out for that other layout. So that was nice to get those used up. It's kind of not disheartening, but when you are doing a layout and you make some different embellishments or you die cut some different things for that particular layout and you don't use them, then you have these extras. That's kind of, you're kind of like, oh, what am I going to do with it? So it's nice when you are able to use those. So here I just got out this modeling paste and I put some aqua teal colored, I don't know, acrylic paint in it, and I put some triangles up top. That stencil that I used was from Scraptastic. Then I'm going to pull out some yellow paint and mix it with the texture paste and put some yellow triangles down as well. I do cover quite a bit of those up, but I know I've heard a lot of people say, you know, like it annoys them when people do all this mixed media and then they turn around and cover it up. I don't mind that, you know, so yeah, I did more than probably I needed to do, but that's okay. I like the process of actually doing it. I find mixed media fun. I will have a mixed media layout coming up. I did on National Scrapbook Day, but I think on that video, I think I'm going to break it up and do the background in one video. I think I'm going to do the process video and say if you want to see how the background was done, you can watch this video, because a lot of people don't want to watch that. So I think that's how I'm going to go ahead and get around that part. Those two pieces that are up top, that yellow pinked circle and also the gray one, those are ones that I had cut out for that previous layout. I am putting down this with hot glue. I don't use hot glue all that often. I really like to because it gives it a little dimension without having to use foam tape. And the problem was, because there was mixed media under there, I didn't think the foam tape would stick anyways, so that's why I pulled out that hot glue gun. That gray piece I just tucked under there, that is also a piece of the die cuts that I had cut out for that previous project. So here I'm going to go ahead and pull out several different sticker sheets or whatnot from that basket that sits beside me to see if there's any I could use. I did pull out that gray frame. I don't know where it's from, but I love it right there. I'm not even sure how long I had it, and I can't believe I have it and it hasn't been used. I had put a blue homemade dot over on the right, and you can see where I had put some of the Fancy Pants Happy Place puffy stars and also arrows. I think I do a free shot of that. My phone quit. What I've been doing is I had recently got a new phone, so I've been using my old phone. It's a Galaxy S5 for videos, and sometimes it still gets notifications, but it doesn't only on internal apps. So every time a notification comes, it will stop, and even on mute it will. So like there's a water app on it and it'll say it's time to drink water, and it will make my phone stop. I've got to go in there and remove all those apps apparently, because I do like the quality of the videos of that phone. So here I go ahead and pulled out some washi tape. I'm going to pull out this aqua and also this yellow. Does anybody struggle with washi tape like this? I have the hardest time tucking it down when I do it after the fact. I don't know if it's because I have big fingers or if everybody just has a hard time with that. I'm not sure. You can see those yellow enamel dots sitting up above where I'm putting those washi tapes out. Those are those homemade enamel dots from Perler Beads. And that blue one and also the blue one up top are also the homemade kind. I need to get out there and make some more. So here's where I'm going to go ahead and put down those enamel dots. Let me go ahead and tell you what I used before these freeze frames come up. They're all Fancy Pants puffies mostly, but over to the right on where I put that gray tag, there's a sticker that says Fabulous, and that is from the I Am collection sticker sheet. And then I have Moments at the top on that gray pinked circle. I just put Happy Place down at the bottom. Those are Happy Place. So I guess that's all I used. All Happy Place and just that one from Simple Stories. Right here I'm putting down that Old Road Prima chalk ink and putting water in it, and I'm sputtering it around. And here you'll see, oh look, Becky, you don't have a title, silly. Yes, I did. I forgot to put a title on it. So I stopped and put a title on it. How do you forget a title? I don't even know. I'm like, this looks like it's missing something. Yes, ding dong, it's missing a title is what it's missing. So I took those Heidi Swap. I don't remember what they're called. They're the Heidi Swap ones. They're kind of a canvas and they're made for coloring. And I put that Old Road ink on them as well. And that's all I'm going to do to this layout. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.